Dear students, let us begin with the second part of the lesson on India and the non-aligned movement, in which we will discuss about India and NAM and the principles of Bandung. The term non-alignment was coined by V.K. Menon in his speech at the United Nations in 1953. Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru later used this term during his speech in 1954 in Colombo in Sri Lanka. Nehru's concept of non-alignment brought India significant international prestige among newly independent states that shared its concerns about the military confrontation between the superpowers and the influence of former colonial powers. By laying the foundation stone of the non-aligned movement, India established a significant role for itself as a leader of the newly independent world and in multilateral organizations like the United Nations. 6 years after the Bandung meeting, the movement of non-aligned countries was founded on a broader geographical basis at the first summit conference of Belgrade, held on 1st to 6th September 1961. The conference was attended by 26 countries, including Afghanistan, Algeria, Yemen, Myanmar, Cambodia, Sri Lanka, Congo, Cuba, Cyprus, Egypt, Ethiopia, Ghana, Guinea, India, Indonesia, Iraq, Lebanon, Mali, Morocco, Nepal, Saudi Arabia, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, Tunisia, and Yugoslavia. The founder of NAM chose to declare it as a movement rather than an organization to avoid bureaucratic implications. The membership criteria established during the preparatory conference for the Belgrade summit in Cairo in 1961 demonstrate that the movement was not designed to play a passive role in international politics. Instead, its purpose was to formulate independent positions that reflected the interest of its members. The primary objectives of non-aligned countries included supporting self-determination, national independence, sovereignty and territorial integrity of states. They opposed apartheid, avoided multilateral military pacts, and sought independence from great power influences. They also fought against imperialism, colonialism, neo-colonialism, racism, foreign occupation, and domination. Additionally, NAM focused on disarmament, non-interference in other states' internal affairs, peaceful coexistence, rejecting the use or threat of force, strengthening the United Nations, democratizing international relations, promoting socio-economic development, restructuring the international economic system, and fostering international cooperation on an equal footing. During the 1970s and 1980s, the non-aligned movement played a pivotal role in advocating for a new international economic order. This order aimed to enable all nations to utilize their wealth and natural resources while fostering significant changes in international economic relations. It was instrumental in the economic emancipation of southern countries. In its 63 years of existence, the non-aligned movement has welcomed an increasing number of states and liberation movements. Despite their diverse backgrounds, these entities have embraced its founding principles and objectives, demonstrating their commitment to realizing them. Let us discuss about principles of Bandung. The fulfillment of these principles became the essential criteria for non-aligned movement membership and were considered the quintessence of the movement until the early 1990s. The principles were as follows: respect for fundamental human rights and for the purposes of and principles of the Charter of the United Nations, respect of the sovereignty and territorial integrity of all nations, recognition of the equality among all races and of the equality among all nations, both large and small, non-intervention or non-interference into the internal affairs of another country, respect of the right of every nation to defend itself either individually or collectively in conformity with the Charter of the United Nations, abstention from the use of arrangements of collective defense to serve the particular interest of any of the big powers, seeking settlement of international disputes by peaceful means and negotiations, promotion of mutual interest and cooperation, respect for justice and international obligations, respect for the principles of non-alignment. The movement played an important role in supporting nations struggling for independence in the Third World and showed great solidarity with the most just aspirations of humanity. It contributed to the victory of the struggle for national independence and decolonization of various nations, thus gaining considerable diplomatic prestige. In the 1960s and 70s, successive summits transformed non-alignment into the movement of non-aligned countries encompassing nearly all Asian and African nations. It became a forum for coordinating efforts to secure economic and political rights for the developing world. Post-independence conferences increasingly focused on economic, social and political concerns. An example of this was the introduction of the concept of a new international economic order at the Algiers Conference in 1973. In the late 1980s, the movement confronted a significant challenge due to the collapse of the socialist bloc. The resolution of the clash between the two opposing blocs was perceived by some as the start of the decline for the movement of non-aligned countries. The core principle that gave rise to the movement of non-aligned countries, non-aligned from antagonistic blocs, remains relevant despite the end of the Cold War. The dissolution of one bloc has not resolved the world's pressing issues. In fact, renewed strategic interest focused on domination are gaining strength, posing new and more dangerous challenges for underdeveloped nations. During the 14th summit of the non-aligned movement in Havana in Cuba in September 2006, the heads of states reaffirmed their commitment to the ideals, principles and purposes upon which the movement was founded, as well as the principles and purposes enshrined in the United Nations Charter. The heads of states firmly believed that the absence of two conflicting blocs does not diminish the need to strengthen the movement as a mechanism for political coordination among developing countries. They acknowledge the imperative to revitalize the movement, emphasizing the importance of concrete action, unity and solidarity among its members. These steps are essential for reaffirming the movement's identity and its capacity to influence international relations. I hope you understood about India's role in NAM and the principles of Bandung. We will continue our discussion in the next video. Thank you.